Hello everyone, we are going to present about our microcontroller mini project. I am Thantip Kangwanwanit and my friend Nutcha Wipoomitsitsakul. We made MP3 Player as our mini project, and I'm gonna explain the concept of our project. In a time where streaming dominates, we wanted to bring back the nostalgic experience of sharing songs the way we used to, by passing around MP3 files, choosing our favorite tracks, and listening together. We wanted something tangible and personal, not just an app or a playlist. That's why we're building our own MP3 player. Here is the demonstration on serial monitor. If you type the number of the song on the serial monitor, MP3 player will play on that song you typed. For example, if you type 1, MP3 player will play the first song. If we type in on serial monitor, MP3 player will play the next song. If we type 0 on the serial monitor, the song will pause. If we type number that is not 1 to 10, the song is gonna be paused and LCD will show error, song not found. Here is the demonstration with buttons. When we press the middle button, which is play and pause button, the music starts playing. If we press the next button, MP3 player is going to play the next song. Have 10 songs in the SD card. If we press next song on the 10th song, the next song will be the first song. When music is playing and we press the middle button, the song is going to be paused. If you press previous button, MP3 player will play previous song.
So we start with including the library. Here we use the DF players and the LCD I2C, so we need to include that library too. And here's for LCD setup and display DF player setup. We use the digital pin at pin 2 and pin 3 for RX and TX for the DF players, and we set the address for the LCD at address 0x27, column 16 and row 2, and we define the variable here, which is the current track equal to 1 because the starting point is 1, and the max tag is 10 because in our SD card we have only 10 songs in there. So here is the it's playing false. It's playing is for the state, for the song is playing or not. And here for the pins, for the play pause button we use pin 4, and next button we use pin 5, and previous button we use pin 6. And for these two variable is for the debounce handling, we use for the prevent the buttons bouncing for the false triggers. And here is for the LCD character custom. We will use it for the pause and plays and next symbols on the LCD. This is 8 bytes. And here is setup. We initialize the LCD serial ports and button pins, and here is initialize button pins. We for pin mode for the play buttons, play pause buttons, next button, period buttons, we use it to define as a input put out. And here is for the DF player, for checking DF player. In the beginning it will display this one, and if the player working not properly, it will appear this one. So we need to recheck the connections and or the SD card. And if the player working, it's gonna display this one, and the volume will be 15. And also you can set the volume to 0 to 30. And here is where we define our character, this one. So we create the characters, name that, and from 8 byte tiers, and we set cursor to this and right, and this one do the same things. For the next buttons, play buttons and pause button, we create a character, then set cursors and write it on the LCD. Then we will get the symbols for the MP3 players. So the next one is display track number in track. First we clear the LCD, then we set the cursor at column 6 row 0. Then we check the track. If the track is less than 10, the LCD will print 00, then followed by the track number. Then if the track number is greater than or equal to 10, the LCD will print zeros and followed by the track number here. For the loop, we read the user input from the serial monitor. Then we convert the input into the integer and store in the track num. So if the track num is greater or equal to 1 and the track num is less than or equal to max track, the current track will equal to the track num. Then the DF player gonna play the current track, and the playing state is gonna be true. And it will call the display track number to display where we plays and call period, next, and pause button. For the pause, if we insert 0 into the serial monitors, the DF player gonna stop and its playing is gonna be false. Then we will call the display track number and periods, next, play buttons. And if you input the N, it will call next. Then the current track is increased by 1 and we're gonna check if the current track is greater than max track, then the current track will be 1. For example, you input current, for example, current track is 10, then you press next. 10 is greater than 10 will be increased by 1, so it's gonna be 11. So when the current track is equal to 11 is greater than 10, so the current track gonna be 1, then the display, the DF player gonna play the first song. Then the playing state is gonna be true. Then we call display track number previous next pause button. For the previous case, if you insert the P, the current track will be decreasing by 1. Then check the current track less than 1. If the current track less than 1, current track will be equal to the max track. Then the DF player gonna play current track, which is the max track. Then the state is true. Then we will call the display track number previous button, next button, and pause button. In case that you insert something else that not PN zeros or something that exceed 10, the DF player gonna stop. Then the playing state is gonna be false, and LCD will clear and set cursors to 00, then print errors and song not found. Next is button handling with debug. This course is only check button input if it at least 200 milliseconds have pressed since the last valid press, for avoiding the false trigger that caused by the button bouncing. For the play pause button, when the button is pressed, it go low. For last debug time is updated to the current time, and if the music is playing, it pause, then update the LCD, and if the music is paused, it's starting playing, and update the LCD. For the next button, when press the next button, the last debug time will update, then current track will increasing by 1. And if the current track is go beyond the last track or max track, the current track will be 1, and the DF player will play the current track. Then update the LCD. And for the previous button, if press the button, the current track will decrease by 1, and if it go below track 1, it wrap around to the last track or max track, and the player gonna play the current track, and it will update the LCD.